Joana Saahirah. I'm a world-renowned Oriental dancer, teacher, choreographer, author, and also the creator of the pioneering Joana Saahirah's Online Dance School and Joana Saahirah's World, where you are right now. And in this video, I am going to share 5 reasons why I know for a fact every Oriental dancer should study Egyptian folklore. Are you ready to start learning? Reason number 1 why you, Oriental dancer, should study Egyptian folklore. It has everything to do with expanding your education and your mind. Because when you study different kinds of Egyptian folkloric styles, you don't only study movements and steps, you study the music used in those styles, you study the people, the traditions, the subcultures, the dialects, the ways of life that correspond to those specific folkloric styles. We're talking about Saidi coming from the Tahtib, we're talking about Nubian dance, we're talking about Bedouin dance from the Bedouins, the nomads of the desert. We're talking about all those folkloric subworlds, and I call them subworlds because they are less known, not because they are less important, that really give you a glimpse into the variety and color of Egyptian identity. So it's all about expanding yourself as a dancer, but also as a person mentally, and being aware of the richness, cultural and anthropological richness of Egypt outside of the Oriental, classic and modern field, which is the field that most dancers are familiar with. So it's a lot to do with educating yourself, a lot to do with going into the minds, going into the perspectives of these very different kinds of Egyptians. It's all about expanding your view of Egypt and of the world. Reason number 2 why every Oriental dancer should study Egyptian folklore. It has to do with expanding or improving your dance technique, your musicality and interpretational skills. Yes, when you study different kinds of Egyptian folklore, you actually become a better Oriental dancer. This is something a lot of dancers don't know. You don't study it just to know the different kinds of folklore. That would be reason enough to do it. But you do it also to improve your Oriental dance. So you expand your vocabulary, you expand your ways of physical and emotional expression. You expand your musicality, the way you relate to the music, the way you answer to different kinds of music, the way you get into the Egyptian psyche, the way you understand the Egyptian culture, and therefore the way you are able to interpret it better and more widely and with more variety, with more flexibility. So it has everything to do with becoming a better dancer technically, in terms of musicality, in terms of interpretation, in terms of understanding of Raqs al-Sharqi itself. So a lot of what I learned from Oriental dance, about Oriental dance, came from Egyptian folklore. It did not come from Oriental dance teachers, it came from Egyptian folklore teachers. So if you want to become a better Oriental dancer, if you want to improve your dance in Raqs al-Sharqi, learning Egyptian folklore is a good way to do it. Reason number 3 why every Oriental dancer should study Egyptian folklore. This one has to do with widening your dance repertoire, creating a colorful, dynamic, deep, fascinating, entertaining dance repertoire, independently of where you stand in your Oriental dance path. Maybe you're a beginner, maybe you are an advanced dancer who wants to become a professional, maybe you're a professional dancer, independently of where you stand. It's so important to widen your studies and to widen your palette of choices inside of your Oriental dance training, and the Egyptian folklore offers you that. When I moved to Egypt to launch my career and when I started to create my first shows, I knew I needed to capture the Egyptian audiences. I knew I would be presenting myself every week, every night for years. And I knew that having only Oriental dance in my repertoire was limiting. I knew I wanted to know more about Egypt as well, and I knew I wanted to develop as a dancer, as an interpreter. I knew I wanted to offer a more colorful palette of experiences and feelings to my audience and to myself. So this is when I studied or started to study with Mahmoud Reda, and this is when I fell in love with Egyptian folklore. And what happened is not only did I become a better Oriental dancer, but my programs, my dance repertoire expanded immensely, as well as my knowledge of Egypt and all the subcultures that compose it. As a result, my shows were dynamic. They offered different options. In one program, I could have a modern Egyptian dance piece, a tabla solo, a baladi piece with sagat, a Nubian tableau, a Saidi tableau. I could have Raqs al-Sharqi with Melaya. I could have Tahtib. I could have anything. That meant anyone who went to see me dance never knew what they could expect. There was this surprise effect and this variety and richness effect that gave me credibility, but also gave me so much fun and so much more insights into the dance itself and into the country that gave birth to the dance. So I would recommend studying Egyptian folklore because suddenly your dance repertoire is going to grow immensely. If you are a professional, that, in my opinion, is a must. If you're not a professional, you will still gain from widening your horizons and adding more color to your dance and to your life. And that's exactly what Egyptian folklore will do for you. Reason number 4 why every Oriental dancer should study Egyptian folklore. And I love this one. One of the main reasons that made me fall in love with Egyptian folklore has to do with the development of different sides of my character. This is what happens when you start studying Egyptian folklore. Suddenly you have to understand what is Saidi, what is the character of Saidi, what are the traits, what are the values behind the Saidi dance. What is the mentality behind the Saidi dance? Suddenly you ask yourself, who are the Bedouins? What do they do in the desert? How do they live? Those dances they perform, why they do perform them, when, for what? And you gain this inside perspective into the culture, but also into the character of each folkloric style, and that will require you as a dancer and as a person to develop different sides of your character. So the Joana I am when I'm doing a Saidi dance is not the same as the Joana I am when I'm doing Nubian dance. Okay, the Joana I am when I'm doing Nubian is not the same Joana I am when I'm doing an Kulthum piece. Every sub-style within the Egyptian dance world will ask a different part of your character to bloom and to express itself. And this is not only about expanding your dance repertoire, improving your technique, your musicality, your interpretational skills, or opening your mind and getting to know Egypt in depth. All of that is wonderful, but it goes beyond that. It has a lot to do with developing your character and being confident in different sides of that character. So I don't mind to be vertical and strong and dry and even a little masculine when I'm doing tahtib. The same way I don't mind, I'm equally comfortable when I'm being so feminine, doing a falahin dance. Yeah? So it has so much to do with pulling different strings of your essence and discovering yourself and how rich you are in the process. Isn't that wonderful? I really, really love it. And it has been one of the reasons why I keep performing Egyptian folklore, why I keep teaching it, and why I believe it's such a beautiful tool for self-development as much as it is a tool for the development of your dance. Reason number 5 why I believe every Oriental dancer should learn Egyptian folklore, and it has everything to do with having fun. Yes, when you learn Egyptian folklore and you add it to your Oriental dance practice, you have so much more fun. That means you are going to take more pleasure, more joy, more stimulation, more even the willingness to work and the discipline from your dance practice. So you're not going to get bored so easily, you're not going to get comfortable so easily, you're going to feel challenged and fascinated and in love and in a constant process of development and learning for many years, I would say forever. I'm not saying that Oriental dance or reconnection itself is not enough to fascinate us and to make us work like paradise. I was going to say like hell, but I think work like paradise, it's a better expression. That's not what I mean. If you want to dedicate all your life to reconnection, you will find that you will not explore it to the fullest. You will find that you will die still a student. But if you want to have more fun, and if you are someone like me who gets bored easily and needs to be stimulated, Egyptian folklore is going to do the job. Having more fun means you go back to it more. Having more fun means you study more. Having more fun means you will read more. You will take more classes. You will learn more choreographies. You will watch the documentaries. You will awaken and maintain the thirst for knowledge in your dance path. And that's exactly what we want, independently of where we are, amateurs or professionals. So here is my list of 5 reasons why I know for a fact every Oriental dancer should know Egyptian folklore. I hope you go for it. I hope you join my courses at Joana Saahirah's Online Dance School or my courses around the world. Find all the information about them in the description box below this video. Join our introduction to Reda Oriental Dance Style. Although it is not folklore, it is an introduction to the father of folklore. Again, all the information in the description box below this video. Subscribe to my channel. Turn your notifications on so that you know when I have new material coming up, and receive my love, ashimi, an Oriental pose, and a kiss.